Now we are going to start with an electroscope. Electroscope is an instrument or a device which is being used to detect that whether a body is charged or uncharged, and if in case the body is charged, we can actually know the nature of charge also. So we have two kinds of electroscope. One is pith ball electroscope and other is gold leaf electroscope. So first we are starting with the pith ball. So we are going to see that how pith ball electroscope is going to detect that whether the body is charged or uncharged, or how it is used to detect the nature of charge. This is what is an electroscope. So pith ball electroscope consists of this insulating stand. So this is an insulating stand, and with the help of silk thread, this is silk thread, we have suspended a pith ball. Right. So that means electroscope solve two purpose. One, it detects that whether the body is charged or uncharged. So it detects that whether the body is charged or uncharged. Now how it is used for that purpose? What we do is that we bring a charged body. Like suppose I bring any body towards itself. Let's say I am bringing this body towards the pith ball. So don't touch them, just try to bring closer. So when we try to bring closer this body towards the pith ball, we see that if there is a movement in pith ball, that means pith ball move this side or pith ball move because pith ball is uncharged, right? So suppose this is a charged body and you are moving and you have a pith ball, you are moving the charged body to a certain distance, but you are not touching it. So if there is a movement in the pith ball, so that means this body is charged. But if the pith ball is stationary, that means that body is uncharged. So we can say that if there is movement in pith ball, then that means the body which we are trying to bring is charged. But if pith ball is stationary, that means the body that you are trying to bring closer is uncharged. Now this is the way you can check that whether the body is charged or uncharged. Now how we can know about the nature of charge? How we can know about the nature of charge, that what kind of charge, like if this body is charged, then what kind of charge it possesses, how we can know that? So what we have to do in this case, suppose what we have to do is, first you have to charge this pith ball by the process conduction. So what you are going to do is, I am going to bring one body closer to each other and I am going to touch it. Suppose let's say this body is of positive charge. I am going to touch the pith ball with positively charged body. So it will pass its charge to pith ball. So that means now pith ball becomes positively charged. And I am removing this charged body now, because the charge is already, some of the charge is already being flown from this side to this side, and it has made the pith ball positively charged. So now what I am going to do is, now I am going to check, I am going to bring another body whose nature of charge is to check. So what happens, suppose I bring that charged body, let's say this body is negatively charged. So I try to bring this charged body closer to it but not touching it. So what we will see is that if the pith ball move closer to this charged body, because we know that it has a positive charge, but we are not aware of the charge which is present in this body. So if pith ball move towards this body, that means the opposite charge is there on this body which we are trying to make trying to bring closer. So that means it will acquire, it must be having a negative charge because it is positively charged. So if it is moving toward it, so that means it is attracting that body, and if it is attracting, obviously it will possess a opposite charge only. So if it is moving closer, so that means it has an opposite charge, because it is positive, so it must be negative. But if it is moving far from it, so that means it is repelling, because it must be having a same charge. So that means we can know the nature, but for that what you need to do is, you have to make pith ball first charged with certain charge. You can make it positive charge also, you can make the pith ball negative charge, but you have to do by the process conduction. That means you need to touch the charged body with the pith ball. Then bring the body whose charge is to be detected to near the pith ball. If pith ball move closer to that body, that means it is having a different charge. It is having the opposite charge to the pith ball. Like suppose if pith ball is positive, so this body must be negative. But if pith ball move away from that body, that means they are possessing the same charge. So like if pith ball is positive and it is trying to move away, so that means this body is also positive. That is why they are repelling. So this is how you can use the pith ball electroscope to know that whether the body is charged or uncharged, and even you can know the nature, that what kind of charge is possessed by that body which you think is charged. So this is what is a pith ball electroscope. Now we are going to start with the gold leaf electroscope.